I honestly can't visualize how this is going to work out. Like normally I can just see it in my mind. I can't see anything. So the refrigerator's off. My monsters are not getting cold anymore. My ice cream is at risk of melting. So I have to not screw around here. This generator is just continually seeming to impress me with the amount of thought that they put into the details. Like I took this panel off to get this thing set up. I connected the battery right here and I went to change the oil. They have, first of all, they've got this little card that was around this dipstick giving you useful information. Just stuff that maybe you wouldn't know. Like with this other Predator, I was always wondering, like, where exactly do you fill the oil up? Like, what's the level? Because if you have it level like this, it's hard to put the oil in. So I had to tilt it, and then you fill it up with oil, but when you put it back level, the oil starts coming out. So I'm like, where exactly is the level I'm supposed to fill to? How much do you need to put in there? Well, this one tells you. Not only that, but they give you a little funnel that actually screws on, and it's got a gasket in there so it doesn't leak. And so now it's easy to fill up while it's level. So like if they're putting thought into little things like this, then that's a good indication that they've put thought into all the other components of this thing. And so like I haven't used it yet. I'll talk about it more maybe after I use it and what kind of impressions I have. But like so far, I mean, even though it's a no-name kind of generator, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with everything I've seen so far. It looks like it's a pretty good quality. They put in a lot of thought into the details. Even the manual is like really well done. You know, a lot of times you get these no-name things and the manual is like garbage or it's written in Chinese, you know, and it's not very comprehensive. This thing is like very comprehensive. So far so good with this thing. I think it's a good buy. I'm happy I got it, and I'm looking forward to using it and not having to use the pull starter, being able to use the push button starter or even the Bluetooth app, you know, to start and stop this thing. So we'll see how it goes after the first time I fire it up. Okay, today is the day that I tear all of this stuff out of here and then put in all of this stuff, and it's all going to take place today. It's been many days now. I've been waiting for the opportunity to do this. It's not as hot out. It's actually raining out, which I'm okay with that, and I have the time. So I honestly can't visualize how this is going to work out. Like normally I can just see it in my mind. I can't see anything, so I'm just going to grab a screwdriver and I'm going to just start with the first screw and just see how it goes. Actually, I'm going to use this thing. Interestingly enough, when I built the van, for some strange reason, even though I had a decent cordless drill, I put in 99% of these screws by hand. I'm not really sure why I did that, but that's not going to take place anymore. So at some point during all of this, I'm going to end up disconnecting the batteries so I can get this other stuff on, and I'm going to lose power. So like whatever runs on my inverter is not going to have power. So I have to make sure that I do this quickly, just because I might need power for other stuff. I don't want the refrigerator to sit there without power, that kind of stuff. Although I'm sure that the refrigerator will be fine. It's not going to be off long enough. And I don't want it to take that long anyway, so I'm going to work as fast as I can to get through this whole thing. And then once this is done, then I can go ahead and I can take this cabinet over here and I can start rebuilding that to put it back in here. And that's like the biggest issue, because right now I just have like no way to keep things organized. All the stuff that I have is just like randomly scattered. I got a bag of stuff over here I have to dig through if I need something, so that's not a good way to live. So I'm gonna start disassembling, taking out the old, putting in the new, and the only thing that's really gonna be a big, like kind of a job on this will be like some of the wiring where I have, you know, like I have some cables like that are pre-done, like this stuff here, but then there's gonna be several sections of wiring which is just like this. So I've got to put on the connectors, you know, and like crimp those things down, and that's just a little bit of a job. I have to cut the wiring to size, and maybe the other biggest thing is going to be just the puzzle that it's going to be to try to make everything fit in here. There's still a few components actually that I'm missing now that I think about it. I'm still waiting on a bus bar. I think what I'll do is honestly I don't know what I'm going to do until I get to that point. Then I'll figure that out. But in the meantime, I'm just going to start tearing stuff out of here. Okay, so inverter is off. It means the power is out. So all I have is whatever DC is connected to the battery and some battery powered lights. So the race is on, and this is just what I have to do to take out this inverter. This stuff's got to come off. So the refrigerator's off. My monsters are not getting cold anymore. My ice cream is at risk of melting. So I have to not screw around here. One of the things that I did is I drew a diagram like of what I'm trying to accomplish, and this goes a long way to help me put this together and kind of figure out what I'm doing. Because if I can't keep a clear image in my head, then I'm never gonna be able to do it. That's a lot of the more complicated things that I've done to the van. I've had to do that. Either I would draw a diagram like that, and or I would put out a list of steps, like what I need to do in chronological order, and then I didn't have to think about it. I could just go through and literally follow the steps that I wrote down, and everything would go smoothly. So I can kind of do that here, but not 100%, because I'm not 100% sure everything that I'm going to have to end up doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of tear this out and try and get these pieces over here to just fit, and see how they're going to fit in here and where they can go. And then once that's done, then I can get and start making sure the wiring, you know, fits, is cut to the proper length, and then I can start installing the connectors at the end of the wires. And at the same time, I can deal with a lot of this stuff, like I'm not sure, you know, this stuff is not going to stay wired up the same way. So I got to kind of figure out how I want to rewire this to make sure that it's exactly the way it needs to be. So let me go ahead and get back to it and see how far I can get.
Now